Are you ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
What's tonight's episode about?
The Amazon rainforest.
So I haven't been watching the news
Topical.
that much about that. I usually just watch political stuff now. The rainforest that's burning. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay. We'll go.
I think this is 75. You said the other one was 75
Okay. I don't.
on your Instagram?
Apparently. Oh, okay. Welcome to Lisa Beats Your Meat episode 75.
You got it.
Do you know how to say that in Spanish?
Nope.
Something. Cinco. Cheers, Jimmy. Not too hard. These glasses are old.
Why is your whiskey all cloudy?
Oh, I put an ice cube in it. One. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Watershed Whiskey. That's not who sponsors us. It's just what we're drinking.
It's our next endeavor.
Is getting sponsored.
Yeah, apparently you have to get them yourself.
Yeah.
We thought they'd come to us.
To start off, I'd like to say congratulations, Jimmy, for being nominated.
Oh, we did not win at the podcast awards, but
We didn't, but I think we came in
we
second.
didn't lose.
Yeah. So, like, we were in the arts category, and there was like a bunch of other people in the arts category, and we got top 4. And the person that won is like really popular. So I don't actually feel that bad that we didn't win our category.
Yeah, it was. They would only
Crypto
say the top 4, but there was a lot of people in
mattress.
it. Yeah, but when you could actually see the votes early on,
We were second.
we were second to
Like
them.
by far.
Yeah,
We were second by far.
and they were leading us. So
Yeah.
if that continued on, but I tried to get them to tell me what the rating was.
They wouldn't.
First, they were like, "Sure, we'll get that info up," and then they sent me like a private message saying like,
Just kidding.
"Yeah," and I think originally they thought maybe I was just a random person and realized I was part of one of the podcasts.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who it was, replied to me and said that we don't want to let the podcasters know. I don't know why you wouldn't. They were just
'cause
like,
they
try
got-
harder next year.
Okay.
It's just like, but I don't know.
Well, it was kind of varied. So like
Not that it matters. It was really to promote podcasting in general in
Yeah.
the city. It wasn't really about competition.
It was fun. It was definitely like it was like a networking event for podcasters, and that was really cool. I like learned some stuff, talked to some people. That was really fun. Got me like motivated to want to like push this podcast more, which was cool. There was a lot of cool other podcasts there, but what I thought was like the most compelling thing about the whole event is that when stacked up, so like, okay, True Crime Garage was in the running for the best podcast. So was this Crypto Naturalist, which is apparently like really popular. But I don't know, like I kind of like went through a bunch of the podcasts to see who was popular and who was not. And it was kind of, I find this like aggravating in that we had one of the top listened to podcasts, but we're not that locally listened to, which is my aggravation is that I feel like we should be pushing this more in Columbus.
Do you feel like the beaters let you down, Lisa?
No, because I don't.
It doesn't matter where you live.
No, I
was
would
really, I think, who got their listeners to vote for them the most.
I know, but I'm saying that like a lot of those podcasts had local It was the Columbus Podcast Awards. It wasn't the World Podcast
Yeah,
Awards.
so you had more.
So I'm saying that like there was a local audience from a lot of those podcasts. Oh,
Yeah.
hold on, Bob just got a boo-boo.
Okay.
Sorry. But my point is that a lot of those podcasts have a larger Columbus following, and I just feel like we should be striving for that. We should just
Okay.
be striving for more listeners in general. You know?
I think so too. So
we got
maybe
it. We're
if
working
you're-
at a consultant.
If
We
you
have
listen
one.
to this podcast, you could give us feedback at lisabeachmeet@gmail.com. But when I'll often try to stop you and like override what you're saying, because if I'm listening to something and it gets very specific about a certain area, I get kind of like, turned off. Unless it's like New York or some very popular area. But
I
if-
feel
if
that
I'm
makes
If I'm
sense.
Australia, and
We
you're
should be-
talking about some restaurant for 15 minutes that there's no way I'll ever go to. I'm not that interested in that.
I guess that's a good point. We should just set our sights universally, globally, instead of locally.
Yes, I like to use our local examples as, what's happening around the world, because it is. We just talked about Veg Fest that happens in pretty much every major city in the country. But I just like to use this as like a microcosm, but
Okay, I feel
not
that.
be a Columbus podcast. I don't
No,
want to be a Columbus podcast.
That makes sense.
It's too limiting.
Okay, that totally makes sense. I just want to make this podcast successful, bro. That's
I feel
it.
you. I feel you.
So episode 75, we're going to talk about the Amazon rainforest.
A very
It's a hot topic.
relevant.
Literally.
Oh, wow.
Just kidding. Before that, let's talk about some food. So, a tip on making tofu scramble that I picked up online. I'm sorry, I don't know where I read this, but I can't give them credit. But if you are making tofu scramble, like that's a staple in our household. If for some reason you slice the tofu really thin, and then when you're stirring it into your veggies or your onions or whatever with your spices, if you're gentle with it and not smash it, it gives it it's more of an egg consistency and like a velvetier, weird. I don't know what about it, but it makes it taste more like eggs.
Yeah, where did you
I
saw
don't know.
that somewhere?
I saw it online, and then I was like, "This is stupid," but let's
way
try
better.
it. It's weird
But-
that it
I mean, I don't know if you were
It's
ever
cheesy.
an egg eater,
I don't
but
know if I was way better.
it's really good. But I mean, when I ate scrambled eggs,
The curdling's similar if you slice it to a regular scrambled egg as then if you just smash tofu.
yeah, but some people I think even my dad maybe, but a restaurant never would do this, but some people just beat the shit out of their eggs when they scramble them.
Yeah.
So it comes up like crumbly, like tofu scramble. Or typically though, if you go to a restaurant, you have those big flakes.
Yeah. Did
Of
you
egg.
before when you cooked for yourself? I was gonna say not pre-vegan days, but just before you got handed 3 square meals a day to you every single day since you've met me, including snacks. But before that, when you made eggs,
Yes.
did you beat the eggs before you put them in the pan?
100%. Yeah, in
You
the bowl.
did. And did you put milk or water in them?
I would dash a little bit of milk in there sometimes.
Interesting.
Yeah, you gotta fluff them up a little.
So, not that I eat eggs anymore, but water actually makes your eggs fluffier than milk.
Well,
And then
this-
2, you don't want to overbeat. I don't know why I'm giving tips about eggs because I don't eat eggs anymore, but you don't want to overbeat eggs when you put them into the pan.
yeah. But I
And
also never.
butter is your friend. Butter's your friend when you're making tofu scramble, though. So, if you want to make a perfect egg, and this is just out of I like technique in the kitchen or whatever, is that it's like you're making scrambled eggs is okay, you put it in the pan and then you wait a second for it to sit and then you pull it away from the sides so that you're getting that's where that long piece of tofu more mimics the scrambled eggs because it's like a layer of scrambled eggs kind of. It's like a lot of little omelets in scrambled eggs. That makes sense.
Gotcha.
So I think that's why slicing the tofu for some reason just gives it a little extra. It just makes it a velvetier, creamier tofu scramble.
It is creamier and velvetier.
It's weird, isn't it weird how that small little technique makes such a big difference?
It is, because if you think about tofu scramble, if you are new to this,
Yeah.
at first it was just more tofu, but
Right.
when it gets beat up like that, it does kind of resemble an
It
egg.
does.
But for some reason, you're really good at keeping it moist.
Yeah.
But
I'm really good at keeping things
I
moist.
never liked scrambled eggs, really.
You didn't? Oh, I got
No.
down with scrambled eggs.
They're my least favorite way to eat an egg.
That was I don't crave them at all, anymore, not even a little bit. But when I was if I hadn't eaten anything for a really long time and someone if you were gone for the night and it was Lisa's at home by herself, what was I gonna eat? Scrambled eggs. Just butter, vegan butter and scrambled eggs. That was all. And that was a dream. But tofu scramble really has satisfied that.
Yeah.
And this
it's there.
slicing really,
It's
I
a
don't know
game
what it is,
changer.
but you should
It's a
really
game
try it.
changer.
It's, I don't know if it's like a game changer. It's like a cool technique.
It's a whole new level of breakfast.
Yeah,
folks. Try it. Look at
there's
Lisa's Instagram. She'll
Yeah.
show you a picture.
there's a tip, and then tonight, this is the last food thing I want to talk about. But tonight I made fried rice. I don't even know if it's considered fried rice because one, it wasn't fried, but it was. That is this dish we had tonight. That's like my perfect dish because it's got protein, veggies, a sweet, a sour, a salty rice. Like it was everything. So it was fried rice, but I just made like a brown rice and then put pineapple. I think you could like use canned pineapple if you really want to be economical. It was
You sliced like a real pineapple?
yeah. You always find that so bizarre. I bought like a watermelon the other day, and you're like, "Oh my
No.
god, what are you gonna do with this watermelon?"
Like on the 4th of July.
And I was like, "I don't know. Eat it, like serve it to my family." And you're like, "I don't know. You're gonna cut into that one. You have an axe you need? Like it's just a fucking watermelon. Like cut it." Anyways, I put watermelon and green onion, peas, corn. Carrots, cashews, and then I diced up some tofu and baked it for like 20 minutes, and I threw that in. And then my sauce was like curry powder and god dang it, I don't know what, like soy sauce, but not soy sauce, that Bragg's amino acid that just tastes like soy sauce. That's another tip. Don't ever use soy sauce. Use Bragg's amino acids. It's literally the same thing as soy sauce.
Just healthier?
Yeah, and that soy sauce is just liquid
salt.
salt. Yeah,
Yeah.
but this Bragg's amino acids has some qualifying, qualities.
And I don't feel dehydrated like after.
Yeah, and I think cilantro. I don't know. You know what I'll do? I'll put the recipe up. That's what I'll do. I got time this Friday. I'll put
There
the
you
recipe
go.
up. But it was really good. Don't you think it was really good? Mm-hmm. You want to talk about it? You want to give me like 100 compliments about how good your dinner was?
Oh, it's just hard to keep up, you know?
Hey, hold
so
on
many
a second.
good meals.
Yeah, I made you tofu scrambled this morning for breakfast.
Yep.
You came home for lunch. I made you a salad with grilled tempeh. And then you had a home cooked fried rice meal for dinner.
Yeah.
Like you were just fucking sitting pretty.
Yeah.
You get 3. There was no leftovers in that meal whatsoever, or in this day whatsoever.
Just all fresh food,
my God.
for your
going
hard
shopping
hard-working
tomorrow.
man.
This is crazy. I'm like really pulling my weight. Okay, I
Keep
know
up
you.
the good work.
You pull your weight too.
Thank you.
But I'm just saying, like I'm really pulling. I also laid 6 bags of concrete today in the midst of the 3 meals.
She can do it all, folks.
Jeez.
Well,
Try to have sex with me tonight. It's not happening.
just too busy.
I'm just kidding.
You're just gonna be looking at pictures of yourself on your phone.
No. All right. So that's food talk. So let's talk about the Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, so this one's all over the place because it's pretty fresh, but I wanted to do a podcast on it while it was still headline news. So what have you heard?
I heard that Amazon's. This is honest to God, my interpretation of events.
Yeah, give me your.
Is that the Amazon's on fire? Vegans are pissed because it's non-vegans' fault. There's a ton of memes about it, and that it's non-vegans' fault. That Leonardo DiCaprio tweeted or did some sort of social media about a monkey, and that monkey was from a couple years ago. Like it wasn't even like an accurate picture of what's happening now. So like there's like there's quote unquote fake news about the Amazon.
You got the whole story pretty much.
Is that it? So, but it's still on fire and it's a problem.
Yeah, it is. It's just bizarre. Like it's kind of testament to the way the news works.
Mm-hmm.
I've been talking about this with my students actually. It's incredible what we decide is important and is not important.
Yeah.
Because this this is important,
This
but
is super
but it
important.
happens a lot.
It
And,
does?
Yeah, and it's something that if social media gets a hold of it, it becomes this like big deal.
Yeah.
And there's been tons of examples of this.
Do you think when social media gets a hold of stuff, not just the Amazon, it becomes a big deal? That besides just an outrage, actual progress is made from outrage?
In this one, I would say for sure.
You do think so? Because I think
Definitely.
that
Not some. Some are
there's
just
often
bullshit. People
so
are just
oftentimes
pandering.
there's a ton of outrage, but it seems like there's outrage with no follow up.
Well,
you know?
the first kind of joke memes about this. So people start posting. The first meme I saw was, this is all like a list of all these things going on in the world, but the Amazon is burning and it's going to be gone and no one cares.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's weird. I guess no one cares. That's the first thing I've seen of it is the stupid meme. But then as the days went on, it was, oh my gosh, the Amazon's burning. It's on fire. Huge fire in the Amazon. And then, so you're not going to get any progress there. Then I see some memes making fun of that. That are like, oh, I want to make a difference in the world. I'll just retweet this. One was like, I just retweeted 40 buckets of water onto the Amazon.
No, I saw that. It was something about Google.
There's a lot of them like that, but that no one's making a difference there. People are bitching about something, but I think where things did start to flip is when vegans got a hold of this.
Yeah.
The vegans were like, hey, hold up.
Do you guys want to know why it's burning?
Yeah.
You guys.
Exactly. And we've talked about this a lot, but it's also not even as accurate as that, though. The way we being vegans simplify it. So there's
God, vegans are such on their high horse.
They are.
Like,
but
I bet we could take like every problem and just be like, it's because you guys eat meat.
A lot of them, actually.
Like in the whole world.
A lot of environmental ones. Yes, but not all of them.
Peace in the Middle
East. But like
East.
you were saying,
because you guys eat meat.
Does this stuff make a difference? I think there's a lot of people who, it's just funny how, vegans, I think we talked about this in the last episode. We try our best to be gentle, but sometimes we're very harsh with people.
We're super harsh.
This one, it was hard not to be harsh.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm pretty harsh when anyone shares anything environmental on social media that's not a vegan.
You get because it's hypocrisy.
Yeah,
at its
or
best.
like animal loving, and I'm just like,
oh my god, that's the worst.
That's where I can't hold back.
Well, I think that like if I had to give some commentary on that, because that's what our podcast is about, is that
it's Lisa's turn.
that I think that you were inspired to be vegan pretty much because of the environmental impact, and like for you to make such a drastic change because of your love of the environment. And like, and I don't even think you like really love the environment that much, but it was just like blatant facts in front of your face. They were like, well, I'm not this wasn't in my path to be like an environmentalist, but like, I can't ignore this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't love the politicizing of environmentalism.
Right. But even with that, you took, the facts you saw and you're like, I can't be a part of this anymore. But what's just bonkers is when someone's like, I love the environment. I'm green. I'm all for this. I'm going to drive this smart car. I'm going to have low gas emissions. I'm going to,
low flow shower heads.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a shower every day because it's bad for the world. Or I'm going to have a greenhouse and like all that stuff, and then they're still gonna eat meat and dairy. Like you all are stupid.
That's why I became a vegan. Yeah, like not just because of the environmental, but because of that contradiction right there.
Yeah,
like I couldn't like lay my head on a pillow and be like,
oh, but I'm eating.
Unless
I'm contributing.
Like, completely willing to go out and just say, I actually don't give a shit about the world and the water and the earth. Unless I was willing to be that guy, it was a huge contradiction to me. And it was something I couldn't ignore. But people are pretty good at it.
It's that cognitive dissonance, I think. But that's crazy.
But you say, does this make a difference? I want to bring it back to that, and I think it does. I think sometimes my approach isn't always gentle, whether it's veganism or politics or whatever it may be. But I think when you do, this is a complete opposite of what we were talking about last week, but I think when you do go at someone really hard with something that's so factual and impossible to break, they might be like, bah, and then walk away and just, it might plant a little seed in their brain. And they start thinking like, oh, well, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe like good cop, bad
Yeah.
cop.
I mean, I was kind of mad that the whole fucking Amazon's on fire, but
And it's kind of my fault.
it's part of, or something, less great. But this event is pretty funny because vegans can shut a conversation down so hard.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, I have 20 examples of this, but I can think of like 2. One today, I think I was in like a family text and I jokingly said I'm going to turn everyone vegan. They asked how the podcast awards were.
Oh.
And I was like, we're about to take over the world. And everyone's going to be vegan. And then like the conversation just stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, they might have been busy, but
No,
like someone
I don't
asked me
know
once,
specifically that, but
about I said really bad acne. We've talked about that a few times, and someone asked me once through a text,
I feel
like,
shouldn't mention.
"Hey, what
that.
are some like? You seem like you've gotten past that. What are some things I could do to get past acne?" He was like a high school kid, and I was like, "Well, cold showers helped me.
They're like, got it.
Yeah, being healthier.
Got it.
I stopped washing my face with all these chemicals and soaps.
Check.
And actually, I think dairy pumps a lot of weird hormones into your body."
No,
And it was like, grrr,
my culture doesn't accept that.
gone. Like, you can shut somebody down with that. But anyways, I think even when that happens, I think that person,
In the back of their mind, it's
by
like,
shutting it down that fast, they're just like, can't think about this, can't think about this, can't think of it. That's when a conversation ends that abruptly. To me, that's the other person saying like the cognitive dissonance or whatever. Like, I can't think about this anymore.
yeah, because their brain
On to the
can't-
next. I
their
can't
brain
continue
can't,
this
like,
conversation.
They can't like wade through the bullshit and still stay on track. Like
if they could, they would just say you're full of shit. But they know
they
that
know.
that I'm not.
I think
Whatever
it's
it may
really,
be, and it's not even just veganism.
I think it's bizarre
If
when
you
people
shut
can.
somebody down that fast, you've struck a nerve of reality in their brain
Yeah.
that they don't want to deal with.
That's what I look for when I'm arguing with people. Like a little shred. I like to
Look for weaknesses
like,
you can
to
pounce on.
drape my insults in like a little shred of truth wrapped around like a orb of I don't care, I'm better than you.
That sounds like a good vegan
But
statement.
also it's true. You know?
Anyways, this one actually
Like I'll
isn't
be like,
that true.
you're like being vegan's healthier, you probably would lose weight. No, I'm just kidding. I don't say this at all.
Not at all. Let's start with what is the Amazon?
What's the Amazon?
It's a
She's a
giant
House.
rainforest in South America.
Just let it all hang out. She's a okay.
You good?
No, well, that's what an Amazon is too. It's like a large lady, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never heard that phrase?
No.
She's an Amazon.
Well, look at
Like she's like a large lady. You've never heard that?
like a rainforest large.
I swear that's like it's the same as like a brick house. She's
not.
met to just letting it all hang out.
Nope.
Okay. Are you gonna drink the rest of your whiskey?
Yeah, don't even think about it. You can go get some more.
Keep going.
And intro this. But anyways, the rainforest, it's very large. South America,
Like a brick house.
Brazil, mostly, especially what's on fire right now. We've talked about, we had our crime episode about people being killed. We've talked about environmentally, the impact of animal agriculture on the Amazon rainforest. And that's what this kind of comes back to, but this is all brand new. But just a quick recap. Lots of trees. Trees
Yeah.
provide oxygen. Some people believe that these giant rainforests, and this is the last of the big,
There's none in Africa anymore?
there's in
Not-
Africa.
There's not like
Africa's still there. It's
Yeah, no, I'm
mostly
saying
a
there's
desert.
okay. I thought there was some
No, there's forests there, but nothing like this. So the rainforest, the Amazon is, if you plopped it on the United States, it's about the same size. It's big.
it's time out. Let's just think about that for a second.
Yeah.
It's the size of the United States.
Yes, but
That's giant.
it's huge.
I
But
thought Brazil was the size of Texas.
no, Brazil's
Like
gigantic.
the size of the United States.
Well, the Amazon rainforest
expands a couple.
expands beyond Brazil, but most of it is in Brazil, and most of it that's being exploited is in Brazil. But I'm thinking, like, I don't know. We have the Great Plains and the Rockies and stuff, but when you fly in an airplane and you look down, like, isn't most of the U.S. like a forest too?
Oh my god.
I guess just not that.
You.
What?
No, it's not.
It's not. There's a tremendous amount of trees in America.
You know what? There's not. One.
No?
And two, I don't know. You hate trees.
I
You hate trees.
I don't hate
when
trees.
we moved into a house, you were like, as long as there's no trees.
I hate owning trees.
Okay. What the, like, I don't know.
It's okay. I don't mind seeing a little kitten on TV. I'm like, that's really cute, but I do not want one in my house.
Oh my god, like they're that much. First, where did this hatred come from? You lived in a condo community before you moved.
Yeah, but
So like, where's the hatred of trees?
I don't have a hate. I love trees. Like, we live in a beautifully
When did you know?
treed street, but
Wait, treed.
when I see a house
No.
in the country,
Where's the root? Where's the root of the hatred? Did you have to like rake leaves when you were a child?
not really. We had 2 trees. One dropped crab apples, so we had to pick those up.
Yeah.
They were the worst. But
You ever jumped into like a pile of leaves?
yeah, we used to rake some leaves, and we would jump in some leaves. Leaves, they're disgusting. They're like wet.
I don't think you understand because it's actually
But I'm
not
just
that
saying,
big
like,
of a deal.
aesthetically, when I look at a property,
You want somewhere
especially
without
in the
trees.
country, when I see a house in the country that is on like a cleared plain almost of just grass with no trees at all and just a beautiful house, maybe a little pond next to it.
This might
I
be
think
why
that's
we get
beautiful.
divorced.
It's amazing.
That's like the opposite.
But then you drive by a house that's like tucked into the woods. and
Yes.
It might be a big, beautiful house
That's
along
what I'm talking
driveway, but
about.
it's like the driveway's covered in like
yeah.
wet, nasty leaves, and they're all over the
I wanna be-
roof.
I wanna
like
be in
staining
the
the roof
woods.
different colors, and
I want to be in the woods. I want to be hidden.
it's okay. We don't have to agree on this. Amazon, it's really big. We gotta talk. People need to know. People clicked on this because they're like, oh, I need to know what's going on.
All right. Keep going.
So environmentally, not only do trees provide oxygen, and some would say, which we'll talk a little bit about, that they call the Amazon rainforest the lungs of the world. They provide all the oxygen for the world. But also they've been known to, technically a tree in photosynthesis is going to actually take carbon dioxide in as it produces oxygen. So it's almost like a filter. So as we put CO2 into the air through all of our, terrible things that humans do, quote unquote, the trees, especially in mass, can filter that out kind of.
Yeah.
Does that
I
make
know
sense?
what photosynthesis is.
Yeah, people don't usually think about them as...
Take it in CO2. Take it out oxygen.
Yes, but CO2 apparently is really bad, which, again, it's a whole other topic.
It is, but it's also just like what mammals and whatnot breathe out,
Yeah, it's not something you can completely get rid of. So Amazon rainforest also pretty, use the term again, moist, wet, rainy. But
it's so wet.
it's been a dry season lately. So anyways, we know what the forest is. So burning. We're starting to see all this stuff online. Starting to read some of these articles.
How does it catch on fire? It's so wet.
It's not. It's pretty dry. It's been a pretty dry year, which happens.
It's called the rainforest, not the dry forest.
Yeah, good one.
It's not even a joke. That's just a literal fact.
Well, it goes through dry seasons and they have fires, like any forest, like California.
Like it happens
in
naturally.
America. It happens pretty often there. So even though this year it's higher than usual, there have been years that there's been this much burning of the Amazon rainforest.
There has?
There has. But these fires, unlike, well, actually, a lot of the California ones are started by like a human accidentally.
And then it just gets out of control.
These are started on purpose. The government is almost encouraging it, and it's because of the cattle industry, which we've talked about a lot on here.
To clear lands?
Yeah, so they're clearing. So rewind 2 months ago before anyone was talking about any fires, we were still clearing, I think, like a football field a second or something.
Yeah.
Like in the Amazon, like incredible amounts of deforestation happening.
Football field a second.
And that's all, well, 80% of that
accurate?
is for cattle. I don't know if it's a second or a minute.
And then a minute seems a little bit more plausible.
Yeah.
And then what's the other, why else would it be cleared?
Other
For other
agricultural
agriculture?
things, just
So it's just
vegetables
agriculture.
to feed people. Yeah, it's all agriculture. But as the cattle industry is increasing and the demand for it is increasing, so is the need for more land to herd the cattle and raise the soy to feed the cattle. But one thing I found pretty interesting, I didn't realize, is that 80% of the beef that they harvest is actually domestic. Like, they're eating it. But
Wait, what? What? 30%?
80%.
80% of the beef that Brazil's making stays in Brazil?
Yeah. It's for them.
Brazil.
Yeah. So they're getting down with their beef.
It's
But
that Brazilian Mongolian barbecue. They
you're
just
on fire tonight.
They
with these
just
jokes.
can't help it.
I like to eat some cows.
You know what they should do? Okay, so like cattle is taking up all of our land, right?
Yes.
Can't they like, I mean, I don't want them to, but can't they like genetically modify a cow to like withstand like Alaska temperatures or something? No, that's actually probably a bad idea too.
Yeah.
In the sky, can they
Let's put
cattle
'em-
be in the sky? Like where can they like? What's like besides
One thing I read
not
is
eating
that they're
them?
doing
Get your feet away from me.
this is it's just an interesting contrast that just occurred to me. But one article I read was, and it wasn't like from a vegan site, it just said one solution would be to add efficiency to their process of raising cattle. And
What does that mean?
I can't,
How can you be more efficient?
exactly, this is just occurring to me. Actually, I think a lot of their cattle, in the grand scheme of things, is probably in America what we would consider the best, like grass-fed, free range. So they don't have the efficiency we do. They're not raising cattle in tiny little corners on
Oh, they're
slabs of
not?
concrete. One article I read said that they could probably do 3 to 5 times more production of cattle in the land that they're clearing, if they could make their process more efficient. But it didn't even occur to me till right now that what they meant by that was they need more of a
Factory
factory
farms.
style.
Think about that argument. Save the environment, less humane to animals. Who's going to win that one? That's a bad argument.
Yeah, there's
Either
no
side.
winning either way. But we've talked about this, but Asia, India, some of these countries that didn't really have an appetite for meat as much now do, and they're increasing demand, and there's zillions of them. So the more that they demand, the more other markets are being stressed. So we do
what
get
could
some
they
of it in
do?
America. We do get it in Asia.
What could they do though instead? Like, if they're not gonna, slow down their consumption, what are we supposed to do?
Slow down consumption.
That's the only option.
Yeah, it really is. And we've talked
lab
about this.
meat. I think lab meat,
Yeah, lab meat, I guess, could be an option. But
because it's just gonna be cheaper to produce it.
the big problem is, so Hong Kong and China, Egypt, Russia, these are even the United States, we're importing it from there. But as this demand increases, obviously they're going to meet it. So unless Brazil's down there coming up with some kind of lab meat, the problem here is we're talking about a country whose economy is based on this production. It's like telling the U.S., like some people are trying to do, we need to get rid of, fossil fuels or things that are the heart and soul of our economy. That's impossible.
What a good example, though, because it's impossible this second. but can we not evolve? Can we not grow into something else? Can we not start trying to do something else?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we can.
We definitely can. But can they?
Yes, they can.
So they recently elected a...
Can you pause so I can get more whiskey?
Yes. Anyways. You like this whiskey?
Ohio.
Ohio? That was
Is
the
it?
podcast
No, it's not.
that,
It's Watershed.
that beat everybody. Whiskey Business.
Whiskey Business.
Have you listened to him
Oh, I
yet?
get it. Like risky business.
You just got it?
Yeah, I just got it.
Have you listened to
Because you
it?
said it like whiskey business. I haven't. Have you?
No, I want to.
It has Dino but the guy from Dino and Stacy, but just Dino.
Is that another very specific Columbus, Ohio
like
reference?
Very specific. It's like specific to like Columbus in the 90s.
Well, anyways, Brazil recently elected a far-right populist president. Weird. Seems to be pretty common these days.
Is populist like socialist?
No, like popular, like Trump would be considered a populist president.
Oh.
Just kind of out of the blue, this
Okay.
whole new idea. And in Great Britain, just elected, I don't know what his name is. Like it's like Trump's long-lost twin brother, apparently.
Really?
You see this guy? Yeah, he's just as bizarre and like outspoken. But anyways, this Brazil guy, his name's Bolsonaro.
Wait, his
he's-
name is Bull?
No, his name's Jair. Yar.
Jair
Bolsonaro.
Javier. Yeah, okay, keep going.
Perfect.
Bull.
So he gets elected, and he's obviously he's trying to push a more like business-friendly attitude. Farming and mining is big there.
So he dropped all the regulations.
So he's been there since January, and despite warnings of conservationists and deforestation and all that,
he was like,
he's actually
fuck that rainforest, bro.
encouraging it. Yeah, so like I watched a thing on CNN the other day that was saying that, as the night, because they're all the reporters are down there because social media got interested. So did the media, the real media. And they're all there just like, oh, there's a fire. But as the days went on, as I was watching this coverage, they started to be a little bit more real about it by saying that not only does this happen every year, a lot of these, like, there's more fires every day because the government's actually encouraging more production, and they're burning more of these, they're starting more fires, and then they get out of hand the way one would hear.
So
And the other big problem
is this one out of hand?
yeah, so not out of hand, but it's the biggest, I think, in like 8 or 9 years. Okay. So in 2019, we have 80% higher than 2018 fires right now.
Okay.
But it's only 7% higher than the average of a
Okay.
typical year. So last year was really low. This year's really high, so it looks really bad. But over the last 10 years, this is 7% more fires than the last 10 years. Again,
Not cool.
not
All-
cool that any of this
all
is on
no-
fire.
No fires are cool.
Just saying,
Or fires are not cool.
it's interesting that this has become such a topic right now. But it's a good thing. It's a
this
good
is-
thing. It's a,
yeah, it is a good
it's
thing
a
because
positive.
this is the same like vegan theme is that, like, I feel like everyone traces it back and be like, you're ruining the earth, told you so,
Yeah.
like it's like we're like a broken record.
Really?
And that we're like, everything you do is terrible. And I think that's what really pushes people away from being vegan or trying to be plant-based or anything, is
Yeah.
they're like, God, I can't do anything. It's like everything is bad. I felt like that because it was like, okay, obviously can't eat meat and dairy. Obvi. Like that's 100. That's not even like, I'm not even looking at that, but like can't use plastics. Okay.
yeah.
Can't buy shit from the cheap clothing stores anymore. H&M, Forever 21. I don't know if there's other ones out there, but like those you can't buy them or not.
Old
even
Navy.
Old Navy, even like Abercrombie, where do people go to? I don't even know. Like
Target.
the Gap. I don't know, but all those places, it's all fast fashion. It's all, like little kids in Bangladesh putting together stuff in a sweatshop or whatever. Then you can't eat certain foods that are GMO because you got farmers killing themselves because their crops aren't growing and they're getting diseases off of the pesticides. Like, it's like, I mean, I get it. It's like a defeatist thing. Like, you walk out the door and you're like, I can't fucking do anything.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you're just like,
fuck it.
Fuck it. Yeah. I remember the first time, I might have been in high school, maybe college. I remember reading an article where it said that hot dogs might actually give you cancer. Mm-hmm. And at the time, 15 years ago, that article was like, psh,
yeah,
that's crazy. Even today, people were like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But my initial reaction, I remember this. I was young, being like, well, if hot dogs give you cancer, then anything's giving you cancer. Like, geez, who cares?
But like,
just live our lives.
Yeah.
But then fast forward, it's like, oh, hot dogs are giving people cancer. But still,
well, I think it's like
people don't. They're like,
don't
oh, we're not gonna think about that. It's such a yummy.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
But I think it's like once you make up your mind that like these facts I'm hearing, I can't just ignore them anymore. That you don't have to go balls to the wall, you know? Like, you don't need to send your paycheck to the Amazon rainforest or go down there and save turtles, or like, you don't need to go that extreme. Well, but the small changes you make in your life really do add up. It's why I cried at that Volkswagen commercial. Have you seen it? It's so good.
No.
It's so good. Like I could get through like my mother's funeral without a tear.
What's the commercial?
But the commercial, like, I couldn't hold it in.
Walk us through this.
Okay. It's just like a bunch of like, you know, comparisons of like this or that, and like the first one's like, oh, like I don't know, someone, oh, it was like an Instagram, like someone liked a picture, and then the next one was like someone patted someone on the back, like they were like, this is cool, but this is bigger. Doop doop doop. The patting on the back's bigger.
Yeah.
It was all like that, like
real life interactions.
Real life interactions is bigger, and like, I don't know, it was like a big whale, but then it was like, I honestly, like, it's all like, I was crying. I was very upset. I was very emotional, but
I'll have to look this up.
But it was just like the whole like thought process to promote their new van that's like apparently supposed to be electric.
I fucking want that.
Right.
So
You
bad.
do.
Yes.
You do. Oh God, we're gonna have to talk about that later. But anyways, the whole point was that like those little things you do add up, you know? And I think
brand new Volkswagen van.
That's fine. But my principal, when I went to Watterson, very specific, Bishop Watterson High School.
Catholic High School in Columbus,
Catholic
Ohio.
High School. Marion Hudson was my principal. When we first started school, she, like, you have like an opening, like assembly or whatever. And it was her first year as a principal, and she was a lady, and like that was kind of big in Watterson days because I think she might have been like the first lady principal. But anyways, she's like balls to the wall, like trying her best, and she's a bit of a hard ass, but she had this story about the starfish. Have you ever heard the starfish story? I feel like every Catholic
I feel like I've heard you say this before.
It's very telling. It's very like legit in that the guy was on the beach, and it was after a big storm, and there was all these starfish on the beach, and he's throwing them one by one, but there's like thousands of them, right? And so this other person comes up and is like, you doofus, why are you doing this? Why are you throwing these starfish back? You're never going to make a difference. And the guy throwing the starfish back, we're like, but I made a difference to this one, you know?
Oh my God.
And that's what the commercial is like.
Okay. Wow. It's really took off here. Well, that's very lovely, Lisa. But
Your part. That's all I'm saying.
think one problem that we do have, though, is as we're trying to convince people and not scare people away, is people do have knee-jerk reactions to these things, and they bug out about stuff that isn't very accurate. And this is a great example of that. And when you do that, you make people are like, oh, well, that's bullshit. So probably everything else is bullshit. And there was a ton, you said it earlier in the intro, people sharing and overblowing this.
Inaccurate pictures.
Yeah, inaccurate, all sorts of pictures and facts were quickly disproven, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, so
I don't have to care about this."
yeah,
it
just discredits.
That's a good point.
Everything.
You got to be real in your
So I was a little disappointed in
response.
Leonardo DiCaprio kind of blew it.
Is Leonardo DiCaprio a vegan?
Yeah,
He should be.
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
He also has like a private yacht, though. Where I guess all yachts are private. Is there a public yacht out there? I'd like to get aboard.
Private, yeah. Yeah, I just took the yacht to work today.
A public yacht of transportation.
But like him, Madonna,
Yeah.
Ronaldo, that soccer player, they're all sharing like old pictures.
Oh,
Like
is Ronaldo a vegan?
I don't know.
He's super hot.
But
Are we talking about that?
is he from Brazil? Is he Brazilian? No, he's not a Brazilian soccer player, is he?
Can he be like the picture for this podcast?
Ronaldo?
Isn't
Look
he
at
the
him.
hot one?
That's him right there.
Oh, Christian.
Like, right there. Just kidding.
No.
That's
Oh, God. Leonardo
I don't
DiCaprio
know
does
who
not look good anymore.
No, it's a bad picture of him. But this is an article that's shit talking all these people. So
And saying they're using false. You gotta be better than that. If you're a celebrity and you know such a platform that you have and such like how many people look at your shit, like you gotta get your shit
People are just like,
straight.
I'm gonna throw this out there.
Yeah, because if you're trying to do good, I know it's like we live in such like a sad world, but if you're trying to do something good, you got to make sure your story is tight.
Especially if it's something that people are going to try their best to discredit immediately.
Right.
And if it's that easy, then again, like I said, you're kind of doing a disservice. But anyways, I mean,
What if Leonardo DiCaprio was like, "It's on fire. The world's climate change. This world's so hot it just burst into flames." Do you think everyone would be pretty pissed?
I don't get it.
Like, because isn't climate change hotly debated?
Yes.
Like if he blamed the Amazon rainforest on climate change.
Some people started to a little bit because it is a drier season there. Because of
climate change.
If according to some, but again, even that was discredited. That it's always go through these cycles, I guess.
Okay.
Just right now, people are starting the fires on purpose. But anyways, yeah, all these celebrities shared totally
false
incorrect
information.
pictures. Some were forest fires that actually we should be paying attention to. There's some burning in like Europe and other places. I mean, forests do burn. But I found a couple articles that really, there was a Forbes article that was very interesting that really was kind of hard on this, but saying that a lot of this is complete nonsense. I'm going to read this one word for word. So I was curious to hear what one of the world's leading Amazon forest experts, Dan Nepstead, had to say about the lungs claim. You know, people keep saying this is the lungs of the world.
Okay.
CNN was saying that...
Just like they said that like where we live is the armpit of the country.
I guess. I don't hear
They
that.
say that.
The Midwest?
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, you can't live without an armpit. So.
it's true. CNN was saying that 1 out of every 5 breaths you take has oxygen from the Amazon.
Oh, I don't think that's
like,
accurate.
wow, that's
How
crazy.
does that make sense?
Yeah. So this world's leading Amazon forest expert, Dan Nepstead, here's his quote: "It's bullshit. There's no science behind that. Amazon produces a lot of oxygen, but it uses the same amount of oxygen through respiration, so it's a wash." So pretty much the Amazon's
What does that even mean? Like I think
using its own oxygen in a cyclical form, and it's not floating away
Yeah.
to America. And we're surrounded by things that are pumping out oxygen. So,
yeah, we are.
I mean, I'm not saying that he's right or, anyone else is wrong, but essentially this might not be, this lungs thing might be a complete myth. But again, that's been shared by everybody.
That's probably accurate. I mean, I think it's important to have the Amazon rainforest. I think for other reasons, maybe not the lungs.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
thing.
huge ecosystem.
It's a huge ecosystem. There's like crazy
Millions of different species.
Yeah, like they say that there's like a bunch of like Well, you know what? Now that I think about it, I've always heard that there's like stuff in the Amazon rainforest that is healing, like
medicine?
yeah. But now that I think about it, it's like, so we need this Amazon rainforest so you can go in there and harvest the shit out of stuff. Like that actually doesn't seem cool.
Yeah, I mean it's like anything. I think
Fern Gully. It's like Fern Gully.
we're part of this ecosystem.
I
being
feel like
humans,
Fern Gully's been like a solid theme throughout this podcast.
and the conversation always starts with I haven't seen it and you have.
You've seen Avatar, though.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yes.
Avatar is 100% Fern Gully.
Fern Gully digitized.
I don't know if James Cameron knows that he ripped off Fern Gully.
Sure he does. It was the first cool 3D movie.
When he lays his head down in the pillow, he's like, I should tell someone. I got this idea from Fern Gully.
Lisa Beats Me figured it out.
Yeah, bro. You're not fooling this broad. It's the same story.
But it does not, according to several articles I've read, and several scientists.
Just like we're not the armpit either.
This is Shannon Peters, a geologist at University of Wisconsin, is saying that he did some studies and ran some numbers, and this is a quote, so I'm going to read it. What would happen if we combusted every living cell on Earth? If asked, that is, Peters wanted to know what would happen to the atmosphere if you burned down not just the Amazon, but every forest on Earth, every blade of grass, every moss, every patch of rock, all the flowers and bees, all the orchids, hummingbirds, photoplankton, zooplankton, whales, starfish, bacteria, giraffes.
Everything living.
Every single
organic.
thing except for humans. And he said all the unthinkable...
I have bacteria in my skin.
Yeah, but he said what would happen to us if this happened. And he said that the oxygen in the atmosphere would drop from 20.9% to 20.4%.
Oh.
And CO2 would rise from 400 parts per million to 900. And that
Do you know what
obviously
Mars is
a
or
worst
anything?
case scenario.
Like what the parts per million is on another planet or no?
Of oxygen?
Of CO2.
No.
Okay. I just didn't know if you knew that.
I'm impressed that you would think that I might know that.
Well, it was it seemed very applicable to what we were just reading. I thought it might have been in the article,
No, the point,
in comparison, Mars is this many parts per unit.
He's just making the point that if you burned everything,
we
would all still live.
So if we burn
we breathe fine.
we burn this Amazon rainforest, we're okay. So I guess the point of this
breathing-wise, we're
this
okay.
whole thing.
I mean, it's still destructive to the earth and the environment in Brazil, but
the whole
we're
thing
not
is
gonna
that,
not be able to breathe anymore.
The people's outrage at the Amazon burning was misguided outrage. Is that this is burning because of your consumption? Most people are outraged. Well, everyone's outraged.
Yeah.
But that not everyone's vegan. All right. They said 5% of the United States is vegan, which is a high number. It was pretty exciting. But 95% of Americans are not vegan. I would say that 100% of anyone that heard that the Amazon rainforest is burning is outraged that the Amazon rainforest is burning. But you're thinking in your head, 95% of those people outraged aren't doing shit to help it, and they're still pissed. So maybe look at what you're contributing into this world, your consumption, your output, what you're buying, what you're eating, and then you can come back and tweet some monkey from 2 years ago from a different country about the Amazon rainforest.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the reason the Amazon rainforest is being cleared, for better or worse, is because of beef consumption.
Yeah. Beef consumption. And don't eat fucking cows, bro.
Yeah, that's another weird one. I don't know.
Cows?
People like steaks.
Reminds me, we're gonna go to Sunrise Sanctuary, Open Sanctuary on the 21st.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go see
Say
Doc
hi to
Robinson.
some cows. Go see some music.
We have a babysitter.
Thank you.
Sorry.
We can discuss our calendar later.
Okay. Sorry.
But yeah, it's a bad thing. It's a terrible thing, actually. And the Amazon rainforest is an amazing place that shouldn't be destroyed at this level.
No.
And if you take the beef out of it, and again, I mean,
Doesn't have to be that
if
way.
you diminish the demand, unfortunately, you still have a giant demand by people in Brazil. But that's because probably it's something that's around them, so they're used to it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going on down there. I don't know if there's a vegan podcast in Brazil or if people are moving towards this in Brazil. But in America, it's becoming pretty popular.
I think you'd be surprised.
Did you see that KFC opening? Did you see the pictures?
No, I did not. Is it?
It was
Does
insane.
it look like KFC? I've never had KFC.
Oh, I did when we were little. Like that was Sunday dinner.
Yeah.
Go get very rare. Like I was really young. A couple times my parents would get like the big bucket and stuff. Mm-hmm. But they just rolled out the Beyond Beef or Beyond Meat chicken in one store in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And
they went crazy.
before it happened, the internet went crazy. At least the vegan internet talking about it. And I'm like, I hate those articles because you read them and you're like, oh, one store in Atlanta's doing this, or oh. Again, the
Didn't we
UK is
get
doing this.
Two different
You British folk are pretty lucky.
like of our friends texted us that story. Like
At least two. There might have been more than two.
and it was like, I'm so excited, and we were like,
No, read the
Thank
article.
you.
Yeah. Well, maybe it will. But they really made it a big deal. So they painted the whole entire Kentucky Fried Chicken green.
oh yeah.
They changed all the logos. It's this
vegans are
one store.
Oh wow.
But there was it took 4 hours to sell out, but there was lines out the door. Most people waited 2-3 hours to get their hands on it, which probably was the equivalent of a Morningstar chicken nugget, which is fine.
Maybe not.
I don't actually I haven't had the Beyond chicken, but
I think it's all like the frying.
yeah.
Fry me
yeah.
up like a shoe. I'd
you
eat
get
it.
that
Non-leather, of course.
yeah, the fast food fryers. Whew. But again, it's a good testament. Things are happening and
Things are happening and it's exciting. Like I said before, I'm a bit of a food snob. Like I've gotten really snobby.
if you're
what
a
I
true
wanna
food
eat.
snob, you would appreciate all food.
Oh my god, that's like
Maybe not. I don't know. That's a
No.
weird theory.
no. That's
Like I feel like I'm a beer drinker,
so you
and I
appreciate all
appreciate the
beer?
best, but I also appreciate the Bud Light.
Okay.
Just like I
Is-
appreciate the
is
vegan
White-
Whopper
is
and my
White
3 square
Claw-
meals a day.
Or sprinkles or whatever. Springly. I don't know the other kinds.
Truly,
Truly. Are those? What is that?
it's garbage.
What kind of alcohol is that though?
It's a wine cooler poured in a can.
No,
that
I
people think is
know,
cool
but like,
now.
what is it actually?
Do
you know?
I think it's like a LaCroix with booze in it.
But like, what is the booze?
I have no idea what the booze is.
You know?
It's a good question.
I went to the grocery store today, like a normal American. I bought baby wipes, paper towels,
We got paper towels.
paper towels.
I love paper towels. Wish we had
Paper
more of
towels.
them.
Look, give one to your friend. But I bought paper towels that were like green, you know. I bought baby food. Okay, number 4. I
4.
bought whole wheat bread for my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yes.
I bought a 6-pack of beer,
Yes.
Land Grant concentrate.
Really
I bought
good.
a bottle of whiskey, obviously, and
The wrong hair gel. The complete opposite of what I asked you to buy.
lose my shit. Anyways,
I appreciate
Anyways,
the gesture.
My point is that I went into the store and there were like stacks on stacks and racks of this truly White Claw shit. And I think it's like a sign of what's wrong with our world. It makes me so mad because
It's a health thing.
it's a health,
Perceived as a health thing.
and that's what annoys me about it is that if you are, oops, dropped the remote. Sorry. If you are so tight on your diet that you can't enjoy a beer or a glass of wine, that you have to be stringent in your diet while you drink alcohol,
While you're partying.
like that's just like that's crazy to me. Or like I like watch my shows like the Real Housewives I watch them all. Like, I'm not above it. Like, let's not. Like, I'm a real Housewives fan. I'm like not like a Bachelorette fan, but like I'm not better than it. But I'm just saying is that like they all will get like tequila with like lime juice and that's it, and it just like it annoys me. It makes me so mad because I'm like, how do you just like just drink a beer, But I guess that's what someone's probably like, just eat some meat or something. But like it's different to me because it's like because I don't eat meat and because I don't eat dairy, I can drink and do whatever I want, you know? Like it annoys me so much.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, a lot of people are making sacrifices in places I guess they don't need to, and
that's it. It's the sacrifice in the wrong spot.
And it's not as beneficial.
No. Why don't you put down the Truly and the White Claw, and
the Michelob Ultra.
Well, yeah, whatevs. But like, why don't you put that down and pick up
what
like
your was.
Pick up some real beer or wine or alcohol and put down the cheeseburger. Like that's what I think. That's where like my frustration comes from.
Or just
you can tie it back to the Amazon rainforest. Is that people get so upset about the rainforest burning, but yet they're not willing to make changes in their own diet. I'm going to drink a Truly or a White Claw, but I'm not willing to make changes in my own diet. Like, oh my God, the hypocrisy is ridiculous.
Yeah, share it on social media and feel good about it. But if you really want to make a difference, the vegans let you know that you blew it this week. And that was my favorite thing about the internet this week is watching vegans just throw that in people's faces. Because regardless of what is happening in the Amazon, there are fires, and they are because of people consuming beef. So if you are upset about the fires and you consume beef, then instead of sharing it on Facebook, there's another step you can take.
You could
to slow that down, and
you could do it.
Maybe it'll happen.
You could do it step by step. You don't have to take it all at once. You don't have to jump into the vegan pond. I get it. We're like piranhas. We're scary.
You should jump right in.
Take a foot in. Take a few days off.
This is episode 75. Sometimes I feel like people are like, oh, they just have to keep talking about vegan stuff. But
Keeps happening.
We just do because
it's that long ass text.
It's good. It's Simply Safe, the alarm system.
Sorry.
But it's something that we're still passionate about.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep doing this because there's so many amazing things that come from it. But it's interesting that after episode 10, I was like, what are we gonna talk about? But I don't feel like we've had to force even one episode.
No, it's just life. It's just like what's going on in the world, and you can tie it all back to being vegan.
You really can, and it's exciting.
It is exciting.
It's gonna keep changing in our favor. So
it's fun talking about it, and we enjoy it.
So Your Meat will be.
We didn't win our award, but you know what? It's okay.
Maybe we should ask our listeners for
feedback.
Well, feedback, yeah. Email us at lisabeatsyourmeat@gmail.com.
But please tell us if we're doing a good job.
I want to rebrand a little bit.
I want to rebrand.
We're going to have a new logo. Rebirth. We're going to have you do the Instagram, Lisa Beats Your Meat.
You do the Instagram.
I do the Twitter. For a while, I was doing it as even when I write I produce. In case you guys don't know.
Apparently, other people have their own producers.
Have their producers, yeah.
I was like, at that podcast awards, I was like, what do you do? And they're like, we produce it. And I was like, yeah, my husband does that. What do you do?
Well, it's
other podcasts are like a little bit more elaborately produced. You know, like they've got like music.
We have music. I think we've talked about this. I think our sound took a little hit because of where we're sitting right now. We sit in a big room. We sit in a really small room. For the most part,
I'm redoing our basement so we can have a studio down there.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna upgrade our equipment and stuff. And I would like to get a little bit more technical with the production, but I think our production's fine. I think we sound great. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, suggestions for that. You know, like what's we need new cover art.
We do. Help us out, beaters. We do. We need new cover art. We need like a rebranding. So if you are in any sort of marketing, I don't know. And then I also am trying to market this. I'm trying to sell this cutting board. Like get in on the ground level. Literally, I don't know how much it's going to cost. I have no idea, but I don't know what I'm doing. I'm reaching out.
we're gonna be going after some advertisers too.
Yeah, like we're trying. Okay, that's it. Let's go work. Okay,
We're gonna step up our game.
we are.
I run the Twitter.
Let's fucking do it.
But I used
to
to do the Twitter and the show recap as like.
As me.
No, it's
As
like an
Lisa?
outside entity. Like we had a producer. Like
Oh,
tonight,
you did?
Lisa and Jimmy did this.
Oh, isn't that weird talking about yourself in the third person?
Yeah, and I still do that for the show recap. The show like descriptions, like I keep them very short. I don't know. I don't know if have you ever like when you look for a podcast, do you? It's usually the headline maybe that grabs you. I don't know.
Like I've looked for a podcast 5 minutes of my entire life, my whole time.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I run the Twitter, but I changed that to Lisa Beats My Meat.
You did?
Yeah, I just want to be myself, you know. So
that's a good one.
the handle is still Lisa Beats Meat.
But it's Lisa
because
Beats.
there's not room for Lisa Beats Your
Your
Meat.
name is Lisa Beats My Meat.
Yeah, but if you want
Do you
to
think
find
you get like weird weirdos that are like, does she? How does she do it?
early on, we got some weird stuff. But the vegan community on Twitter has really exploded also. So
Okay.
Lisa Beats Meat on Twitter is me, Jimmy, and I share the things you
Okay.
make.
I've had a long day though, so it's probably not happening.
Yeah, but wait, I missed that. Oh, yes. No, don't beat my meat. I have to go to sleep.
Oh my God, we have to go.
Yeah, so Amazon.
Okay. Please
75.
subscribe. Do all that fun stuff. Please email us. I'm telling you, you out there listening that has any sort of knowledge about marketing or selling a product or anything that can help us, please email us because we're just some vegans trying to get our word out, and I feel like we got some quality product and we need help. So
Yeah, we like
please
some
email
feedback.
us.
Yeah.
And
Let's just say, like, if you got to this point of episode 75,
we always wonder who gets here.
go to lisabeatsyourmeat.com
.com
at gmail.com and send us an email and say, hey, I liked that episode. Or, hey, can't believe I sat through an hour of that horseshit. Give us any feedback. No, I think this was a good episode. But we do get emails, and we always reply to them, and we love the
All right, pack it in.
interactions. But I'm just trying to encourage more of that.
More involvement.
And and show ideas. Always show ideas are cool.
Great.
We appreciate them.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back soon with another amazing episode of Lisa Beats Your Meat worldwide. The next one's going to be about... Yeah. Good night.